Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my budgeting videos. This is going to be my budget for my September the 5th paycheck. Today's actually Monday, September the 8th, so I am running late with it. I just had a really busy weekend and it didn't get done. I kept thinking I would have time on Sunday. I didn't, so I did it today. A little bit surprised that it worked. I feel I must be missing something that's like right in front of my face and I'm not really sure what it is. But I don't know. I'll go through it. You'll see the numbers. Maybe you can tell me what I've missed. This is my setup for the month. It's even less decorative than normal because I guess you could call it my stationery inventory is still packed. The only stuff that I have budgeting wise are the things that I packed the same as when I was on vacation. So like this book, my rough draft notebook, my line of credit debt payoff tracker, my larger notebook for tracking sort of projecty type expenses, stuff like that. Calculator, pen, and whiteout. I can see the Rubbermaid totes where I have the items from my desk and my stationery packed into, but I'm not going to go digging in them just to try to find some stickers for the layout. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. I've just moved. It's fine if September is super bland. It's not like I use a lot of stickers anyways, but I will go over the layout. So my goals for the month of September, put money aside for hydro, line of credit, that just means make payments on the line of credit, and Visa payment. So let me explain these. I'll try to be brief. I now have to pay for hydro and electricity, and I don't really, or is hydro electricity? I have to pay for, see, to me hydro is water. I don't know. I had to pay for electricity and water. I don't know the right terminology to use for either of them. One of them I will get billed via the apartment building, so I'll be able to pay that through the app that we use to pay rent. It's not included in my rent. It's an additional, I believe it's $32.50 a month because I have a 1-bedroom apartment. And then I have to pay electrical on my own. I set up an account and I set it up before I even moved in because I had to make sure that everything was going to be up and running on the day. And they told me that I would probably not get my first bill for roughly 3 months. I don't know why they don't send a bill every month. I'm not sure if it's always going to be sent on a 3-month cycle or if it's just because it's new. I don't really know. I don't understand how any of that stuff works. And in case you were wondering if I am the dumbest adult on the planet, I'm not. Well, I mean, I might be, but probably not. It's just that I've been living in suites within houses for over 10 years, and my rent has always included all of my utilities, so I've never seen them separated out as different bills. So I don't know what these things cost. To me, they're just part of the overall amount of rent that I pay, but now they're not, and I'm a little bit guessing until I get the first bills. Well, not the water one. I know that'll be $32.50, and I keep sort of checking the app. I'm not exactly sure when it's due. I'm assuming the first of every month, but I didn't have to pay it. Now that I think about it, I didn't have to pay it for first month, so I don't know. Interesting problem. Well, that's a problem for later. But anyways, those are my 3 goals. I do have a space for a 4th. I couldn't think of one. I figured these 3 were plenty enough. The line of credit is just like usual. I'm trying to pay down my line of credit. It's my main source of debt. So it's just sort of, usually it's always in the first place because it's like my main priority, but I really need to figure out this whole hydro thing. And then Visa payment. I use my Visa quite a bit for the moving expenses. And if you watched the budgeting video from last paycheck, I discussed like the charges and costs of the move and how I'm paying it off and things like that. And I was saying I was going to wait until the payments that I had made actually processed and I had a new final balance on the Visa card before I paid off the remaining money from the damage deposit that I got back from my old place, just because I wanted to make sure I didn't over or underpay because I always seem to make that mistake. However, since then, I have used the Visa to book my trip back home for November. I don't get Christmas off, so I go back in November for like a week, week and a half, whatever I can manage to get off of work. So it's paid vacation, so that part is good. My paycheck won't be affected, so I'll still be able to like pay bills and everything in November. I'm not really gonna have a lot of spending money saved up because your girl's kind of broke. And I put the charge for the flight onto the Visa card because of course I did. Like that's where you pay for things like that. So I do have some money stashed aside that I was saving up to hopefully be able to go to England with. And I think I'm going to end up, like, it's actual physical cash. I think I'm going to end up putting that into the bank so that I can then put it onto the Visa to pay for the flight. There was a really good seat sale, in case you're wondering why I did that now when I'm already floundering with the numbers. And it was just sort of I plugged in my dates for travel and it was hundreds of dollars less than what it usually is when I go home. It's ridiculous. I only fly one province over and the cost is astronomical. So when the seat sale came up and it was a really good price, I couldn't not purchase it now because I would be paying hundreds more if I waited until later. So the Visa's right back up there. But yeah, I'm going to take that cash, put it in the bank, put it towards the cost of the flight, and then the deposit, the damage deposit from the old place, part of that is going to be going to paying off the remainder of the Visa charges from the move. And I did ask for your advice in the last video about how I should use the rest of the damage deposit, like what's the wisest way to use it. And I think it's pretty much going to get eaten up in costs of replacing things that I had to throw out that I now need to purchase for this apartment, because there's quite a lot of things like pillows and I don't even know, like the list is so long, it's ridiculous. So I've placed an order on Temu. I have a bunch of stuff coming. It costs a little over $100, like 101 and change. I've never spent so much money on that website in one go in my life. It's insane. But it's like, I mean, it's stuff I want, but it's also stuff that I wish I wasn't having to purchase. But it's like a laundry hamper because mine got covered in mold, a toilet brush for cleaning the toilet because the one that I had actually belonged to the old apartment. I can't even think off the top of my head right now. Like a lot of the organizers and things like that I had in the old place don't fit in this place in the drawers, whether they're like hook over the door type or like go inside of a drawer type. So I purchased some organizers. And, you know, like there's just the things that you need to buy when you're moving into somewhere new. So I did that. I also purchased some stuff at Canadian Tire that was for the apartment, which I'm blanking on. Oh, I had to get a step stool and a couple other things I can't remember. So I've decided that those two charges, Canadian Tire was $87.87. So the Canadian Tire and the Temu purchase are going to come out of the damage deposit. And that combined with the amount that's going to cover the rest of the charges on the Visa is going to eat up most of it. I'll have some left, and then that's probably going to be used honestly at the dollar store for things that I'm hoping to find there, also for the apartment. So the damage deposit is spoken for, which is unfortunate because it would have been nice to be able to put it towards like an extra payment on some debt or towards like savings for something fun. But the reality is this move is costing a lot more than normal because of all of the mold in the old apartment and all of the things that I had to get rid of. And I just need to be grateful that I have the damage deposit to pull from to at least help me replace some of those items. And it's going to be, I think, over the long haul because it's going to be stuff I can't replace everything all in one go. So it'll be here and there. When I manage to have some extra money, I can get another pillow. You know what I mean? Like things like that. So my calendar here has rent on the 1st, although I technically paid it on the 25th of last month, which was my moving day. Then my 2 paydays, my SUV payments, my cell phone bill, my line of credit, my Visa. And then I just put down here, Neo doesn't have a due date. And it doesn't. I pay it off every payday, so it doesn't really matter that it doesn't have a due date. But I don't know, I kind of want to include it on the calendar somewhere. So I'm just using an empty square to kind of make note of it. My sinking funds have all remained the same. Cash has all remained the same. Basically everything on here has all remained the same, even though the numbers of like what's in reality going to happen is not going to match these. So for instance, let me see. Oh, well, I wrote, oh, what was I doing? Okay, that's supposed to say 5. And that, so Microsoft Norton and WordPress are 5. Dragon Boat is usually 20. Wow, I just totally messed that up. Okay, so this one's going to be wrong anyways. Let's just ignore it for now. But like groceries and household 120, miscellaneous 30, fund 60, physio 3150, transpo 40. You're going to see when I do the budget and what my sinking funds, or sorry, what my digital cash ends up being. Those numbers are not those numbers. Same with some of the sinking funds. They're not like emergency fund. I like to put 20, presents 10. Dragon Boat is supposed to be 20, I believe, and travel is also supposed to be 20, but in reality I put lower numbers. So you'll see it in the budget. And also I didn't have the stickers out, so I just crossed out and sinking funds, cash, this is Striker, and home. It's very simplistic, but you know, there's nothing wrong with that, because like you don't need stickers to budget. So now, after all of my rambling, let's get this done. Okay, I have to shift the chair over because I'm at a really weird angle and my writing is getting really messy, so prepare for the sound of the chair. Okay, sorry. I don't know if that was like loud on the camera or not. So September 5, 2025 paycheck. The balance, $2,334.68. Oh, let me just put over here. My paycheck amount. It was a little bit higher than normal because I worked a little bit of overtime. It's a work thing. You know, I don't need to get into details. We very rarely get approved for overtime, so it's not something that I can rely on, or we'll probably get again until like this time next year. But at least I got a little bit this time, and it definitely helped. So the first thing I am doing is pulling out half of my rent. Which is leaving me with $1,599.68. The next thing I am taking out is my SUV payment. It will automatically withdraw on Tuesday. So it's putting me down to $1,332.96. The next thing I'm pulling out is the damage deposit, so it doesn't go towards my like the regular part of the budget. So that puts me down to $682.96. My line of credit payment is $206.36. I'm very sorry I haven't got the video up yet with the update on the line of credit payoff, like the debt tracker. I'm hoping to be able to get that filmed this week. Everything's just like super running late. So that puts me down to $476.60. I owe on my NEO bill $37.45, bringing me to $439.15. My cell phone. So my cell is like the amount that I was getting charged on my bill every month that was going towards paying off the phone is complete. So I don't know exactly what my phone bill is going to be next month because it doesn't show me yet, but I just took off the amount that it was charging every month for like the cell phone and divided in half the remaining charge and then added a little bit. So I'm hoping that by taking $35, like putting that onto the cell phone, that is enough, because then I'll do 35 on the next paycheck. And I'm hoping to just continue what I've been doing all of this time with it, where I pay, before it was $60 every paycheck, so then I was always paying off the cell phone bill and also building a credit. So if I ever had a really tight month, I could skip a payment and it didn't matter because the credit was high enough that it was still covering my bill. So I'm hoping to still be able to do that, but I'm going to be able to do it with a smaller amount of money because I did not cave the way that I wanted to and renew my phone, or that's not the right word, not renew my phone, upgrade my phone. I really wanted to, but did not, and now I'm reaping the benefits of some semblance of self-control by having a smaller cell phone bill. So $35 towards the cell phone bill brings me down to $404.15. I'm taking $10 and putting it aside to go towards hydro. I have no idea if that's enough. I really don't know. I don't even know how to find out. I'm gonna see if I can log into my BC Hydro account, and maybe it shows like a running tally of what I owe or how much how much electricity I'm using, and gives me like a guesstimate of what I'm gonna owe. But I just decided to pull out 10. I don't know where I'm gonna like put it to keep it safe yet, but I'm gonna pull out 10, and I'll do that every paycheck. And then by the time the first bill comes, I mean, I don't know if I'll have enough to pay it off because I have absolutely no idea what the bill is going to be, but at least I'll have something to go towards it. It's kind of the best plan I could come up with. So that leaves me with $394.15. I'm pulling out Striker's money. Some of you are very eagle-eyed, and you may notice that this is the same amount that I pulled out last paycheck, and normally it goes up unless I purchase something for him because I put money in every week. Last time, I accidentally put his money over onto the prepaid MasterCard that I use for my digital spending. It's like my version of cash envelopes, instead of leaving it here with his actual money, and I haven't moved it back over yet. So the money that's sitting in the account is still the same amount from last time, so the $45.53. And it's actually going to go down soon because I need to buy him some food. So that brings me to $348.62. My sinking funds are $121, and I will explain those. And my cash is $190. Leaving me with $37.62 in my account. I honestly was expecting to go negative. So I'm very confused as to why this worked. I know that's a very small amount to be left in the account. So, I mean, it's not like that's great, but when I was expecting negative, that seems kind of amazing. So let's go over sinking funds and digital cash. So my sinking funds, oh goodness, this is all bouncy. I'm writing badly. It's not a great start. I can't get the lid off the whiteout. Okay, so car insurance. Tenant insurance, tech, travel, Dragon Boat, presents, and emergency fund. So my car insurance is one that I can never put less in because the bill's going to come whether I want it to or not, so I need to make sure that I have the money there to pay it. Same with the tenant insurance, and same with the tech. So 70, 16, and 15. Travel, I am putting 5. Dragon Boat, 5. Presents, 5. And emergency fund, 5. Now, you may be wondering why I'm putting such small amounts and what's even the point if I'm putting such a small amount. And normally that's what I would be thinking as well. I'd be like, if I'm only able to put 5, what's even the point? I might as well leave that $20 in like the rest of my budget. But I am going to be really tight of funds, especially now that I'm in this place and my rent is more. And I need to get used to the fact that I'm going to have to take smaller steps to be able to reach any kind of a financial goal. And any amount that I can put into something like one of my sinking funds is better than nothing. So even if all I can do is $2, it's better than nothing, and it will slowly build up. And because I save my sinking funds in bank accounts, in savings account, they do earn interest, the most pathetically small amount of interest ever on the entire face of the planet, but they do technically earn interest. So putting something in is better than nothing. And I'm just gonna try to go with that. So there will be times, I'm absolutely certain, where I have to put 0 because that's happened before. I'm sure it will happen again. But this time around, I was like, I'm gonna see if I have enough to be able to put $5 each in those 4. And I did, so I decided to go for it because baby steps. So that means 70 plus 16 plus 15 plus 5, 10, 15, 20 is 121, which is right there, 121. And then my cash, I still don't know what I'm going to do with this. I have not moved the cash over to the prepaid credit card because I really want to stop using that Wealthsimple card. I'm kind of tapping it until it runs out. And then when there's like such a small amount that, you know, it's too small to be able to use to pay anything, I'll just like transfer the money over. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like that card. It causes me too many problems. I'm just not happy with it at all. So now I need to figure out a new solution. And if you'll recall, before, when I was in the old place, I shouldn't talk and write. When I was in the old place, I was like, that's a problem for me in the future. I can't think about that while I'm prepping for the move and dealing with all of that. Well, the move has happened. So now I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. And I don't know. I can talk to my bank and see if they have any kind of a prepaid card so I could just do it with them. But I was thinking on that, and I think it's still going to give me the same problem in that it's going to sometimes not add up because of like interest, or I don't even know like exactly all the things that cause me problems, but like when it would be pending on something. So I would see an amount that would be like the balance on the card, but it wasn't really real because things were pending and hadn't processed. And sometimes they go from pending to process to back to pending. And so it was just very unreliable, the balance. But I had to rely on the balance, and then I would have problems. So I think maybe a prepaid card is not the way to go. It seemed such a good idea to me, at least, maybe not to anybody else, but to me, it seemed like a really solid idea. And now I'm just not sure what to do because I really don't want, I don't want to be dealing in cash if I can help it for certain things. Ooh, fruit fly. Sorry, I don't know if that came across camera or not, but I got a little fruit fly. I have the nerve to have a banana, and the bananas are just calling to the fruit flies right now. But yeah, sorry, got distracted. But I don't really want to be dealing with cash because I like to go out with like minimal stuff in my bag. I don't want to have to be carrying it. I also, if I'm out and I see something or I remember an errand or there's an errand I have to do and I happen to be by the store that I can do it at, I don't want to be restricted to not being able to do it because I left the cash at home for that category. That was something that used to happen to me when I did budget with actual cash. You know, I'd be out somewhere, say grocery shopping, and I'd be at Superstore and they have like a clothing section, and I would see something on sale that was in my size that would be a really good, say like a top for work or something, and I'd be like, oh, I want to buy that, but I don't have my clothing envelope with me. I currently don't have a clothing envelope, but you know what I mean? I did at the time. And I'd be like, I don't have my clothing envelope with me. I don't have the physical cash to be able to buy the shirt. And I would go back, you know, like a couple of days later, and it would be sold out because, you know, they don't keep a ton in stock. And if it's already on sale, they already have limited things. And that I found very frustrating. So I don't want to be limited to the cash because I'm not going to be carrying it around all the time. Like I'm realistic about that. But I also don't know a better solution. So I'm debating on using my Neo card for purchases that fall under, not Striker, but under the other categories, and then just paying it off. Like, so say I go out with a friend and I have brunch, then I use the Neo card to pay for it, and then I pull the money, like I'm thinking I put all this money, just move it out of like my regular checking account into like a savings account or something, just to kind of keep it tucked away from the checking account basically. And then every time I do something that falls under one of these categories, move the money over from that account onto the Neo card immediately. Can I be trusted to do that though? I don't know. And this is where my problem comes in, is that I don't trust myself to stay on top of that, which will then end up with me running a balance on the Neo card, which is like my number one rule to myself, is I never run a balance on the Neo card. It's why I pay it off every single paycheck. And I'm concerned that if I do this strategy of using the Neo card to pay for things with the strategy, like the plan of like paying it immediately from the category, that I'm going to drop the ball, and then I'm going to be digging myself into debt on another card. So I don't know. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. For now, I'm still kind of just in the I don't know stage. Having said that, I went grocery shopping today, and I'm not going to have to worry about that one because I spent like a smidge over $100, and I don't even know how. I'm going to have to go over that receipt. Like, I knew I was buying more things than I had intended to, and things that I normally don't buy. Like, I bought some microwave meals and some more like deli salads, things to make turkey wraps to have during like the coming week. It's all kind of things that don't need to be cooked because, and please find amusement in this, I don't know how to use my oven. I moved into this fancy new place and I can't use my stovetop or my oven. So my stovetop is an induction stovetop, and none of my pots and pans are compatible with an induction stovetop. I can't use them. I have this beautiful set of pots and pans that my brother bought me before I even moved out of my parents' house. It's like some brand. I'll never be able to afford to buy something so expensive. They have stood the test of time. These things are amazing. I absolutely love them. And I can't use them on an induction cooktop. And it's going to break my heart a little bit to have to get rid of them, but also why keep them when I can't use them? But then I looked at the price of pots and pan sets and oh, wow, I can't afford those either. So I'm going to end up going to Walmart and buying like an individual one singular pot and one singular pan. I was going to get them from Canadian Tire, but they only looks like they sell them in sets and I can't afford a set. So I'm going to have to buy like the most common size pot that I use and the most common size pan. And then I'm just going to have to slowly build up, I guess. Because I can't cook anything on the cooktop right now because I tried every single one of my pots and pans and none of them work. And then I have this combination microwave oven is what the place came with. It's super fancy and high tech and touch screen and whatever. And I almost panicked trying to set the clock on it. I didn't even attempt to try to use it in the first week. I'm like, I haven't even had time to read the manual. I don't know what this thing is. And then I tried using it the other day and it was a disaster. I will tell you all about it in another video, but seriously, an utter disaster. I do not have the ability to cook anything in my apartment right now. So everything that I'm buying are things that are ready-made salads or things that I can use to make a wrap or a sandwich. It's pathetic. Luckily though, I did bring my microwave with me only because I didn't have time to sell it before I moved. So I was going to take a picture of it and sell it. So I'm going to have to plug that in, and I'm going to be living off of things that I can cook in my microwave or my air fryer. Until I can figure out this monstrosity of a microwave / oven. It's just, why? I'm not a dumb person with tech, but this thing is insane. I'll show you the book one day. It's utterly insane. Sorry, I keep going off on tangents. But so because of that, my grocery bill ended up being way more than I expected because of course this is the week where none of the microwave meals are on sale. And what else did I get? And like deli salads are kind of expensive. I bought the already made and pulled apart chicken from the Safeway deli. That's like $10 and change on its own. I had to get paper towel. That's always expensive. So yeah, it was just a bunch of stuff. But there were some things. There was a good sale on cereal on like the family jumbo size box. It was $5 and change, and I got some peanut butter that was on sale, and those things will last longer than a week, so that's okay. But it's just kind of an unexpected amount of money got spent tonight, and I actually felt like going through the receipt when I was still there because I'm like, this cannot be right. Something must have double scanned, but I think it's just that's how much things cost now. So all of that rambling, here is the math. So my cash, $120 for groceries and household, $10 for Striker, $20 for fun, miscellaneous $20, physio $0, $20 for transportation is $190, which is there, $190. So that is the budget. I did write out a list of how much money I spent in Hope, but it's really just on my rough drafts. I don't really think that I need it anywhere. The friend that I was taking, she doesn't drive, and she needed to get her daughter there for like a whole thing. We won't go into details because I've already rambled your ear off about other stuff. And so she asked if I'd be up for a road trip, and she would pay for gas and my entry into this like fair thing and whatever. So I have to fill up the gas tank, and she's going to be paying for the cost of gas for the trip. And then, like I said, she paid for some of my food at the fair as well as like entry tickets and like ride tickets and stuff like that. But I still ended up spending $72 and change of my own money on like lunch when we got there at a cafe. And there's like a charge I honestly don't understand what it is. I don't know what I bought. But like I played a couple games. Did you know the games at the fair are now $10 a turn? $10. That's insanity. And then I bought some ice cream and a corn dog because I'm a child at heart. It took everything in me not to buy the cotton candy. A couple, like some freezies and water, like random things, you know, but it's the fair and everything is super expensive at the fair, and it ended up costing $72.48, which is highway robbery, I gotta say. But oh well, it's done. I keep thinking, like, if I hadn't done the road trip to Hope, and I don't regret it, it was a good time, I'm happy I did it, but if I hadn't done it and I had saved that $72.48, because I never would have made any of those purchases that I made in Hope, this would be such a better number. I could have put more money into a sinking fund or something, just had it sitting in here, maybe put more into the hydro for preparation for that. Like, it really, it got me thinking that, you know, these spontaneous things that I do and how they affect stuff, especially because not this coming weekend, but the next 2 weekends after that, I'm doing dragon boat stuff. So there's going to be expenses, and I'm going to have to try to figure out a way. Maybe I can figure out how to boil water before then and make an egg salad sandwich to take with me on race day. That would be nice. Anyways, that is a problem for future me. This is the budget. Thank you so very much for sitting through all of this, especially my rambling and my tangents. I really do appreciate it. And just for following me with my journey with the budget, with the new place. I promise I am going to be doing a video about the new place. I'm going to show it to you. It's just sort of still chaos. I'm trying to take video clips showing it in the different stages of chaos, so I can sort of do a video that's like, this is how it was, and like as it slowly gets better. But I'm not really great at remembering to do things like that, so I don't have any right from the very beginning, unfortunately. But I'm gonna do my best to, once I get it as sorted as I can, to do some videos for you so you can see what it looks like. It's amazing. I love it. There's no mold, which is the most exciting part. That and the lack of bug infestation, minus that fruit fly. But that's because I now live somewhere that's not in the basement, and so I have my balcony door cracked 24/7. It locks, so it's only open like that much because I don't want a striker going out onto the balcony, but I have constant fresh air coming into my living environment. It's amazing. I know at some point I'm going to have to close it because it's going to get cold, but I don't want to. I'm even willing to deal with the sounds of construction during the day, Monday to Friday, just to have the window open, because I love the novelty of it. It makes me so excited to be able to have an open, well, I say window, but it's really a door. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's amazing. It's so amazing. Okay, but I'm going to stop talking about it because, like, I'll wait to get all like, and fangirl over my apartment when I'm showing it to you. So again, thank you so much for following me with my budgeting journey. I really do appreciate it. I hope everybody is having a really great day and that your budget is going really well. I really don't understand why mine worked, but I'm grateful that it did. I will talk to all of you in the next video. Please stay safe out there, everybody. Bye.